Hello, today I am excited to bring to you a family favorite of the BE bunch, the Venny burgers. I have an approach that allows the Venny burgers to not puck up, meaning they don't get to be kind of like a hockey puck. They stay nice and flat and they are full of flavor. The key to this is going to be your different salts and also enough olive oil, and then letting them sit in a pan so they can set. This is a recipe that the kids ask for over beef burgers, and we have access to some amazing beef. And I just want to share this with everybody out there. I want you to try it, put your own spin on it, put your own spices in there, and enjoy nature's bounty. So I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. As always, I appreciate the support and your viewership of this channel. So thank you, and it is a great day to be outdoors. All right, good morning from the BE kitchen. So what we're doing today is something I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time, and that's bring out my venison burger recipe. So just to show you and start off with the staples, we're gonna mix the ground venison with the spices and the olive oil you see behind me. Another necessity, shout out to my daughter. She's a junior at the U of M, so hey, that's for you. Got to have some coffee to get you through this, and then 6 pounds of organic goodness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this all up. I'm going to add the spices. Now, I apologize. I'm going to have to give you amounts at the end. This is another one of those touch and feel recipes that you just keep adding, and sometimes I do it right, sometimes I need more. So you need quite a bit of salt. It's a binder, and I'll keep track of amounts, and then I'll do the math and give those to you at the end. So what I do, and this is very important, is I thaw this meat overnight, and that way it's thawed not in the microwave. I think that breaks up some of the fats and things and just doesn't let things bind. So we're gonna mix the meat in these bowls with the spices and the olive oil, and then I'm going to put it into or onto baking pans, get it nice and flat, and then I'm going to compress it during the day, and then we're going to cut it into basically little squares, kind of like White Castle burgers, and then grill it. So you'll see how all this stuff is put to use except for me drinking the coffee while I make it, and I'll be right back with the next scene. We've mixed up the spices and the olive oil right now, and I'll give you amounts in a minute. And I just want to give you some things to look for. So first of all, 6 pounds. Why 6 pounds? We're going to have leftovers, and we eat these burgers for a few days. They're awesome. They're an awesome stack. They're super healthy for you. I think venison has 600 calories per pound. Yep, we're adding olive oil, but that's still good for you. It's an unsaturated, healthy fat. So right now we have half a cup of olive oil in these 3 pound batches and 2 different bowls because it's just easier to mix. A lot of salt. Salt's the binder. So we have seasonal, onion powder, garlic salt, black pepper, and then Lawry's, but we're out of Lawry's. And another thing I'll do is I'll add Lawry's to the tops of the burgers when I'm grilling them on the charcoal grill. So here's what you need to look for. With your olive oil, do you have a shiny meatball? Then you have enough olive oil. You know, everything is a little bit depending on the meat itself. So what we have right here is a shiny meatball. And then same thing over here. Now, what we're short on is, and I wish I could mix this and show you this, but I hope you can just see it through looking at this crack in the meat right there. We are a little bit short on salt. Salt's the binder, and later on, if you don't have that full meatball look, when you try to make your patties, they might break apart on the edges. I'm gonna give you a couple more hints for that too, but we want patties that stay together so you have less work on the grill, and I'll show you how I get them not to puck up too. But so we're almost there. So we probably need a little more salt here, and then even a little bit extra salt there, and it will not taste salty. You know, it seems like a lot of salt when you're adding it all at once, but if you were to mix and add, it wouldn't seem that bad. So I'm gonna step away from this clip, add more salt, and then show you what the shiny meatball should look like when you're all done. So we added a little bit more salt to this, and you can kind of see how it's going to stick together. I mean, that's the big thing. When you take your spoon, will it all stick in your spoon? So I would estimate, and I'll get the actual amounts, that maybe a teaspoon and a half, so tablespoon, 1 tablespoon, and 2 teaspoons of Laurie's would be about perfect just for the right binder. But we're where we want to go next. Didn't mention using a heavy duty spoon because, you know, mixing it, I've broken wooden spoons before. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to pat all the meat out on these baking trays and try to make it be about between 1/4 and 1/2 inch thick using my estimation. And then we're gonna cover it with parchment paper and then set it in the fridge till we're ready for supper. And that's a crucial step too, because that's gonna help things firm up so your burgers stay like burgers. And again, they don't puck up. I don't want any pucking up in this recipe. Here's your shiny meatball. It's fun to say. So what I'm gonna do now is take the spoon and just kind of knead this all out. But before, I wish I had a helper this morning. It's a little early, it's Sunday, but I just wanted to show you this and then I'll smooth it all out with the spoon. All right, I'm filming lefty. So what you do is you just take that spoon, you know, you just push it out. It's gonna form towards the sides and you kind of get the idea. Now, we might be a little bit short on the second tray, believe it or not, with 6 pounds, but it's better to have everything, you know, together than it is to try and stretch this thin. So I'm gonna have to estimate the total thickness on this. I would say that right now, I'd say that's 1/4 inch and that's about what we want. So I'm gonna tell you 1/4 inch, but no thinner. So this is an 11 by 17 inch baking pan, and we have another one that I'm gonna put over the top. I'm pretty surprised. I've made this recipe 1,000 times, but I've never attempted to make it so I can share it with anybody. And I'd say 5 pounds is about perfect for this. I thought we'd use both of those. I have about 1 pound or less even left, and so I'll use a smaller baking dish to finish that off. So this is about perfect. And once we put that other baking pan on it, it's going to thin down quite a bit. All right, filming lefty again. So what we do is we take our piece of parchment paper, we put it over the meat, like so. Apologize, not ambidextrous. So there we have it. And then we put the second baking pan over the top. Smushy, smushy. Okay, and then we're gonna add some weight when this is in the fridge. You don't have room in the fridge, so the weight actually helps press everything together too. So I'll put the milk and the juices and whatever else on top of this until we're ready to grill it. And then I'll show you how we slice it. But gotta take care of the little leftovers there. So we're gonna have a second little pan. So I guess it'd be 8 pounds if you wanted to do 2 full pans, but this is gonna feed us for a couple days. Just want to take a clip of what the meat looks like in the fridge, you know, so made room, put everything back on top of it, and we'll let it sit in here all day. And then I had a little bit of meat left, so I threw it in a smaller 9x9 baking pan, and it'll firm up nice and good, and I'll show you how we cut it with a pizza cutter before we make our patties. All right, so here's what we have. These have been sitting in the fridge all day. You can see the lines from the wax paper, I guess. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come through, use a pizza cutter and make square cuts on these, and then we're ready to put them on the grill and eat. So I'll show you a pic of the White Castle squares that we use, and then next thing we'll do is we'll be out on the grill and we're dang near there. Also, I'll have to just pan over here because over on the stove, we got some onions simmering and butter, and oh my God, is this gonna be good. So I got them all cut with the pizza cutter, and obviously just like with a brownie, there's gonna be one that's gonna be a little bit awkward to pull out, but we'll throw these on the grill in just a minute. The coals are warming up, and this is a recipe where you do not want rare. So I love a rare burger. I love rare meat, but there's no difference. In fact, better flavor in these things when they're fully cooked. And so I'll show you a couple hacks for that in just a second. All right, here's where we're at. So I got my Weber, I got my Laurie's, I got my cut burger, and you know, there'll be a sacrificial piece and then there's the leftovers. And I'm about to put them on the grill. And another thing you want to do is you want to cook these and not molest them. I don't know what else to say. So put them down one side. I'm going to cover it with the top, and then I'm gonna let them cook before I touch them at all. So I don't want them to break apart. And again, I mentioned this in a clip or two ago, but you want to make sure you got these things cooked the whole way through. So sear the one side, cover the top, probably adjust the heat, and then flip them. And then I'll throw some Lawry's on there as well. So I'm cooking this all on the Weber grill. Three good things have come out of Illinois as far as I'm concerned: the Super Bowl Shuffle from 1985, Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and then Weber grills. Other than that, nothing. So if you're from Illinois, I apologize. We're probably not gonna be friends on this channel, or you're a realist and you understand that I'm correct. But so this Weber, I'm gonna put these on there and then get them all cooking, cover the top, and then flip them and move them around. So here we go. Just a super quick clip just to show you how easy these things come out of the pan. Threw a couple on already, and I have to hurry. I'm gonna put the rest of these on and then cover the top. But the proper salt, the proper olive oil, and this is what it looks like. All right, so here's round one. I'm about to cover them up, let them cook for a little bit. I'm going to dial down the heat on the charcoal with the, you can't see that, but down there below, I'm gonna cut the air a little bit, and then I'll do the second batch accordingly. All right, so I killed the heat to about medium in terms of airflow on the top and the bottom of the Weber. Now I'm just gonna come through with Lawry's and season the top of these things. Oh my gosh, yum. All right, and you can see how they're graying up. I'm not gonna touch them quite yet. We're almost ready. I'm gonna let them get a little bit more gray. I put the cover back on, and then I'll flip them, and I'll show you what they look like when they're flipped, and then I'll Lawry's the other side as well. All right, so I flipped them. I'm gonna Lawry's them in a second. Obviously, if you look, we got a couple of hot spots. These are totally fine. They're just a little bit more charred on the outside, and you know, they're still gonna eat just fine. So I'll sprinkle some season oil on one side, and I'll move them around, and then what we're gonna do is cover it up, kill the heat even more after I Lawry's them, and then move them around and get the second batch on. The other 1 pound that's left, and we're just about ready for supper. Just so you know, here's where I'm at with the Weber. I have to close the airflow on the bottom. The charcoal grill, it's way better for these burgers, and then basically have the top almost closed as well, because we seared the one side, we cooked the other side, so these are just about done. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to stack them on a cooler spot on the grill while I go ahead and get the rest. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 patties that are left on there, and then we bring them into the house and devour them. So here we are. Here's the second batch of burgers. So I got all the first batch done on the side. I'm kind of rotating which on the bottom. Different levels have done this. For this, it does not matter. You do want these cooked. Like I've mentioned before, I like a rare burger, but many burgers, they're not any different rare. In fact, they're better cooked. You want that grill flavor. So I'm actually overdue for covering these up. So I'm gonna do that, kill some of the heat. Just want to throw this out to you too. It says, be proud of doing things your own way. So if this is my contribution to the world for hunting, I'm proud of it. There you are. There's your organic goodness. All done, all ready to go. Dang, man, it's gonna be good. Well, that's a wrap on today's recipe of Venny burgers. I hope that you try it. I hope that you enjoy it. And if you have your own spins, please share those with the community. If you have your own recipes, your own videos, drop those in the comments below. It's always great to find more ways to enjoy this sport and the fruits of our labors. So thank you for watching today, and bon appetit.